turn this thing on and not like that, you weirdos.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of LJ's Garage. I am sitting in a 2024 BMW i4. This one is the M50, and there are several different variations of the i4 that you can get. So on that list, this is the top of the line M50. On the bottom of that list is going to be the eDrive 35, and that one's going to be the entry-level model. So altogether, there are four different trims of the i4. What I love most about the i4 is that this is a car that happens to be electric. Just like the i5 that I drove previously, this one has the intention to be M heritage sprinkled into electric. So the M50 starts at around 69.7, which is actually a really good deal in my mind. I think for this performance that you're getting, wait till you hear this horsepower and torque number. 536 horsepower, 586 horsepower, 586 foot-pounds of torque. That is BMW M5 numbers. M5 numbers from the previous generation, of course. The new M5 hasn't been released yet, and that's going to be a monster too. But 0 to 60 is 3.7 seconds, which is faster than my F80 M3. So this car is already M3 performance as far as acceleration goes. Now the question is, can BMW put that handling inside of the i4? And in my mind, they've done it. Range is going to be anywhere from 227 to 260-ish miles per charge. I'm still getting used to saying miles per charge instead of miles per gallon, so bear with me as we learn electric cars together. Today, I'm going to give you guys a walk-around tour of the inside, the outside. We've already covered some specs. Oh, and this is Xdrive, by the way, so I did forget to mention that. There is only one speed with this transmission, and that's it. It's just one speed. But anyways, if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you happen to be in the Dayton area, be sure to stop into Evans BMW, ask for James or Jared. And if you're looking for a BMW genius, ask for Nick. He's an awesome dude, and he's teaching me all about these electric cars as we speak. So there's going to be a little bit more videos on the BMWs specifically and kind of the ins and outs of these iDrive systems, because I want to be able to teach you guys what I learned. And no better way to learn than with a BMW genius. So that's my plan, at least. I'm not going to dive into too much because all of this is pretty straightforward. You've got the new grille, the new headlights. I do love these wheels. And because this is the M Sport variation, this one has 19-inch wheels with these large calipers and rotors. So max stopping power, as you can imagine. Take a look at this color, though. This color is spectacular. I know that this lighting probably doesn't do it the best justice, but my favorite feature on the outside is actually going to be these taillights. These are so freaking sharp. Overall, the i4 is a really good looking car. And if you walked up to this, you would think it's just a traditional 4 Series. You're going to have your charge port right here. Give that a close. Man, I wish you guys could see the flake in this paint, but it's nice and sharp. Go ahead and open this up, and all i4s are hatchbacks. They're like the Grand Coupe style. And so look at all the space that you get. Max practicality. Step away a little bit so you guys can see the full opening. Over here is going to be your charging cable. And then look at that. Harman Kardon sound system. So I'm guessing that's your sub or something along those lines. Amplifier, whatnot. And this does have a power close, as that is pretty high up. So if you're on the shorter side, I'm sorry. And that's all there is back there. No exhaust, as you would imagine. And here's another shot from a different angle. Let me know what you guys think of these looks. And here we are on the inside. This red interior, as the kids say these days, it bumps, it slaps, it goes hard. So if you're trying to impress your cool teenagers, this is the way to go. This is a cool car. So here I am in the back seat. This front seat is set for someone my height. That's 5'9" on the dot. And here I am, sitting comfortably. Got plenty of leg room. BMW even put a little cutout right here so you can kind of get your knees up in there. And then back here, you're going to have your charge ports and then your climate control. So you do get a third zone for climate control back here, which is pretty nice. And here's a little sneak peek of the front before we hop up there and talk about that. This car has my heart already. I think if I could find a good lease deal on one of these, I would do it. I would do it. And because there's no transmission tunnel or anything, the floor is a little bit flat. So you do get a little bit more headroom. And even so, and to go one step further, BMW actually curved this a little bit. So there's a nice little cutout. So there's even more headroom. You'll notice you got your Harman Kardon sound system. So you can listen to your favorite artists, your Taylor Swifts, your Biggie, your two pucks, whatever, so have you. Sunroof right there. And then if you're curious, this does open up and give you access to your cup holders. Boom, boom. But yeah, that's all there is back here. It's not a bad place to be, and I am someone who is not a fan of back seats. But you can see, even with the coupe style, this is a nice little rear view visibility. Better than a Mustang or a Challenger, I'd say. All right, let's turn this thing on. And not like that, you weirdos. And before we dive into all of that up there, let's start with on the left-hand side, you're gonna have your lighting controls. Over here's where you'd find your memory seats. So you have 1 and 2 memory options. Your lock, your unlock, more Harman Kardon sound system goodies. Your trunk release is gonna be down here. And other than that, the i4 does a spectacular job of just making this feel like a regular car all around. And since the idea behind the i4 is to be more of a driver's car, you're going to have this very nice M Sport steering wheel, which is part of the M Sport package. This one does also have like the driver convenience package and the comfort access, those type of things equipped. So this is a little bit more than you would get with just a base i4. So let's talk about your digital instrument cluster. Actually, before we do that, you'll notice that you do have heads-up display right there. You can kind of see it right there. So you do have that, and there's a couple configurations you can do with that. But let's talk about this main one. You hit this little button, which is different than some of the other BMWs, but you hit this little button right there, and then all you do is you use left, right, up, down, and you can go to the content. So right now, it's that center display. You adjust that to whatever view you like. This one is going to be your maps. There it is. Then you got your G-force gauge. And that's it. And then let's go over to the next side. So layout for the side gauges, you can tell by the display on that. You can change that to whatever you want. So it's just speed on one side, and then your percentage of power you're using, or kind of like your throttle. But yeah, a couple different layouts. If you want, you can just get rid of that right side and just see your speed, because really that's all that's important. Heads-up display, you can change a couple things. I'm going to try to zoom in and show you guys. So you can see right now it's on your compass. You can go ahead and see road signs, maps. Yeah, there's a couple of different configurations. It's kind of hard to show you guys, but trust me, believe me. On the left-hand side is going to be like your adaptive cruise, your normal cruise control, your steering assist. All those things are going to be handled over there. Heated steering wheel button is still a thing. I love that. I love that. After being in the i5 and the iX, I think that the i4 is such a sweet spot. And I know that they seem like all similar cars, but the target audience is so different, it's not even funny. But let's get back to this display. It is nice. It goes all the way around. Love it or hate it. Go into the main menu, couple things, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You got your charging settings in there, doors and locks, displays, climate control, hit that. And there's actually a couple ways to get into the climate. You can press this button right here for this little fan guy, and it brings you into this mode. Or if you want to get to like your heated seats or something, you can get a little shortcut by pressing the seat itself. So you've got all of that there. And even though there's no physical buttons down here, as you can see, it's not really the end of the world. Take a little bit of getting used to, but most people just set their temperature in their car and they leave it at that. So other than that, the only thing else that I really want to point out in these driving settings, we'll go in here. I'm gonna click on the driving assistance, talk about those features. So you've got forward collision mitigation or forward collision avoidance, lane departure warning with active steering intervention. You've got blind spot monitoring, and you can turn on and off the steering intervention, but most people will keep that on because it's nice to know that the car will save you. You've got side collision warnings. So all that's there. Iconic sounds, that's the sound it makes while you're driving to give you kind of some sort of noise if you don't like the quiet or just hearing the road noise. And then let's talk about your parking cameras. So I'm going to hit this. This is going to be your rear view camera right here. You even got the 3-dimensional mode right here so you can see everything. This is all pretty easy to use, just the right amount of tech, I feel like. You got your iDrive dial, and then your normal shortcut buttons, which are right there. You've got your push start right there, your shifter, which looks a little cool and goofy, but it's really not anything crazy. Sport, Comfort, Eco, Pro. And then that's it. Traction control off because, you know, burn rubber. Your automatic brake hold and your electronic parking brake. Center console right here with plenty of space. Charge port. And then I forgot to talk about your cup holders up there with another charge point, and then your wireless charger. And if you don't want to see any of these things, you got this nice carbon fiber accented piece. You can see some of your ambient lighting right there. Right now it's set to that blue. And then that's really it for the tech and features. Over here you got your glove box. People like to see that. You got your rear view mirror, and then your visors right there. Boom, boom. Controls for your sunroof, which is actually a nice size. No complaints. Here's your rear view visibility. And here is that through the rear view mirror, so you guys can kind of see a little bit. This thing is fast and plenty quick. Special shout out again to Evans BMW over here in Dayton, Ohio. And yeah, it's almost time to take this thing for a spin. But just like that, we've walked through the interior of the i4. Let's see what this thing can do.
It's a rocket.
Yeah, you guys weren't kidding. This is just a little bit more
You know, it's incredible, man. It being lighter helps a lot with that.
It feels so good too. This suspension and the steering, it feels familiar.
Yeah, it stays true to that BMW, you know, everything they've done over the years.
I'm not gonna lie.
50/50 weight distribution, all that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at lease deals on these. I was like, kind of want one.
They are fun, man, and especially with how punchy they are. There we go. You know, that's what it's all about.
See, I feel like they should put these big brakes on every one of these cars.
I agree, because they are very good brakes.
Like, I feel more confident in this one than I did in the i5. The i5 felt good, but it's not the same.
Yeah, this one's got a little bit more of the, because the i5 is supposed to be more luxurious. This one's got more of the racing DNA that BMW holds too.
Yeah, I've got to learn like how they tune batteries to be different. Like how are they using the same motors and batteries but getting different performance numbers?
Yeah.
I got to learn that stuff. I'm not looking forward to it. I feel like I'm taking engineering classes.
Yeah, it'll definitely make you do your studying.
Still learning all these cameras. There's more than I'm used to. Park. All right. It says I'm good. I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it.
Looks good to me.
Is it off? That's the part that always gets me.
The coolest part about these cars is you don't actually have to press the start-stop button. If you get up and get out of the car, it's going to turn itself off.
So there's, because it has no torque converter, it's not going to like roll.
No.
Good to know.